What's up, expats? It's your commish, Ronnie, presenting this week's recap from my garage because it's the only place in my house that I won't wake my child. But before I get to this week's recap, for all you crybabies out there in this league complaining about the scoring system, I didn't manage to get a violin for y'all, but I got the next best thing. I present a ukulele. Yes, why do I have one of these? Because my wife thought it would be a great idea to buy one during COVID. And guess what? She hasn't touched it since COVID. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad I didn't throw it out sooner because now I have a great prop for this week's video. And I composed a little song for all you crybabies from your point of view. All right? I'm crying over fantasy. Why won't my players come through for me? Drafted stars, but they don't score. Got no fab, I am so poor. Must be Ronnie's scoring system. For my losses, no other reason. Not the players left on my bench. Out of the playoffs or the season. So yes, that is. I thought I did that pretty well, actually. That is for all you crybabies. I hope you enjoyed that because I enjoy your tears every week seeing you bitch about the dumbest stuff. Kickers. Why is the running back scoring points? He only had 250 yards and 3 touchdowns and said, went to the moon and back, etc. All right. Now to get into the recap. Southside Huskies, my team, beat the Ibarretts 149 to 112. Too little, too late. With Devontae Smith out and everyone else on a bye, Ian Antonio decided to play strategically and play without a flex tight end wide receiver in that spot. Doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure they're going to lock up the OCE North as the number one seed. Chris might be able to catch them if he wins out and Ian loses a game or two. We'll see how that plays out in the North Division. Smackers beat off to your mom by staging a late Monday night football comeback. Lamar Jackson has a nice rushing touchdown, a nice throw to Rashad Bateman, and Andrews has a TD reception. It was looking pretty hairy for Johnny, coming into last night's game, but he managed to come through and squeak out another W. Uh, let's see what else I got here. Yeah, Jack actually had enough points on the bench. Smith Najigba and I believe Myers both had 17 points, so they would have definitely, had they taken the place of Tank Dell and maybe Ramondre Stevenson, if he had, switched it to the flex or something along those lines, he might have been able to do it. But unfortunately, Johnny's name isn't Colin, so therefore Jack just could not win. Corky is our weekly scoring leader. He has opted for the 25 fab after putting up a whopping 202 points. I don't feel sorry for Colin in the least bit. He's pretty much screwed up my playoff chances and staging the two most ridiculous comebacks this season, both against me for some reason. So in fact, I actually wish that Saquon had dropped triple digits on your bitch ass. Last but not least, Chris squeaks out a W against Brees Lightning with a score of 128 to 117. And this is where I'm going to use Frankie as an example. I don't mean to belittle, his decisions or make fun of, or this isn't shit talk in the lightest. It's just some possibly advice going forward because, again, this league is completely different from people, right? From the bidding on players aspect to it being a keepers league to it being tradable draft picks, etc. All right. Now, When Jordan Mason got hurt and was later replaced by CMC as the number one, running back on the 49ers, I said, man, that sucks for Frankie. That is a big loss. And Frankie, do you know what you said in chat? Do you know what you said? You said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got Zach Moss and Najee Harris. I'm going to be just fine. No. Frankie, Zach Moss ain't even on your team anymore. All right? And Najee Harris, he put up 6 points. Okay? Terrible. Terrible. You lost by 11. Now you got to win out because Corky somehow won. If you lose once and Corky wins out, you're not going to the playoffs. Guys, I don't know. Listen, I don't know how many times I have to tell you. I don't know if you guys aren't reading the chat. I don't know if you're not, reading or listening to videos. I'm going to say it again. Listen, the playoffs is 4 teams. 2 from the north. 2 from the south. All right? If you're the third place team in the south and you have a better record than the second place team in the north, it doesn't matter. You're not going to the playoffs. All right? Chris could lose the next 2 weeks. It doesn't matter because Colin and Jack ain't catching them. So with those 1 and 2 seeds, or the 3 and 4, or however that's going to work out, Ian and Jack, or Ian and Chris, are going to the playoffs. Johnny is the 1 seed out of both divisions. He's definitely in. And now Frankie and Corky are duking it out. If you both end up with the same, win-loss record, Frankie crushed in the head-to-head, 2-0. So he's going to go ahead. But if somehow Corky wins these next 2 and Frankie loses one of them, which again he's versing Ian in week 14, that's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. Frankie will not be making the playoffs, which I really want to see because, again, as much as I hate taking Corky's money, I got $50 riding on Frankie making the playoffs. So just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there. And this is what you don't understand, Frankie, was aside from even Najee Harris, Javonte Williams. You mean to tell? I know it's your bye week, and Breece Hall's going to come back great. Joe Burrow's going to come back great. You got to, going into the future, you can trade for even just weekly replacements. You know what I'm saying? I sold Kyle Pitts to Johnny for 15 fab. You don't think I would have sold you Bo Nix for 20 fab? You got 86 fab. What are you doing with it? Nothing. I would have sold you Bo Nix for 20 fab. All it takes is a conversation. Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, even Tyrone Tracy on the Giants. 7 points is better than 1.6. Maybe we talk, we haggle. Maybe I send you a 10th round for an 8th round. I move up 2 spots. If that gets you a win, if that secures your playoff spot, you're not willing to move 1 draft pick back 2 rounds? You're not willing to give 20 fab? Not to mention, Frankie, you're overdoing it. You're in your own head. You dropped Justin Herbert for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, the number 9 ranked QB. He's coming off a 30-point game. You drop him for Justin Herbert. You should have just kept him. Sam Darnold scored 27. You play Sam Darnold, you win your matchup. You put Jordan Addison, who apparently you only play him versus me and screw me over, scored 28 points. There you go. That would have put you over. Have him in the flex spot instead of Najee Harris. Again, this goes for everybody. I try to make it as trade friendly as possible, guys. Even for bench players, even for replacement players, even for bye weeks and whatnot. You don't got to trade the number 1 draft pick to replace a bye player. But hey, you know what? We can trade draft picks. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'll trade you a 7th for a 6th. I'll move up one spot. And hey, now you get a player that'll make your matchup that much, hopefully, more sure. All right, so like I said, not picking on Frankie. I'm just saying I'm hoping it don't. I don't lose $50. I'm hoping that I don't lose $50, and you know, over the next 2 weeks we see how this plays out. But man, imagine if you do lose another game, and now moving back a draft pick slot cost you. Dropping Sam Darnold instead of Herbert cost you. Starting Javonte Williams, instead of trading for another running back cost you because you're being cheap, because you have Breece Hall on the bench who's on bye. Like I said, when you're that close to somebody else, all these weeks matter, especially in a 14 playoff and an 8-team league. Now, next year, I'm either trying to expand the league to 10 teams or at the very least have a wild card spot where the fifth highest win total or the fifth seed will play the fourth seed, and then that'll decide the top four to going into the actual playoff week. So yeah, guys, a lot of rules and changes could be in store for next season. Like I said, just keep track of things that you might want to see different or things that can be improved upon, and we'll bring it up to the draft weekend and vote on it. Got to be in there in person to vote on them. But otherwise, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm really looking forward to how these next couple of weeks are going to play out. Must-win games for some people, and yeah, I'm hoping I don't lose $50. Which, realistically, I'm just giving Corky his money back. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention, Corky, you won one bet. You won $30. Please don't go into debt like that Adam Sandler movie where now he nonstop bets. What is it with the diamond, the gem, flawless gem or something? I don't know. It's been a while since I see it, but that's your next addiction, your next crutch. You're gonna be friggin' putting in 17 parlays, 17 leg parlays, wondering why you didn't win $1,000. Stupid, crazy stuff like that. That's all I got for you guys. Sorry this one ran long. Actually, 12 minutes is kind of probably one of the longest recap videos ever. But if you're still with me, make sure you like it. Make sure you comment. Frankie, you don't like showing up on video. Maybe you can comment down below, talk some shit. Call me an asshole. Call me an idiot. Say, I don't know what I'm talking about with my bitch ass being in last place. Clearly, I don't because I'm not in the playoffs. But I know how to trade, apparently, which I should. It's my league. It's my rules. All right, guys. Peace.